drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
What's up guys? This is Manoj Bhuktani. I welcome you all on behalf of the Edupedia world. It's been a fantastic morning outside and I'm sure that you guys must be enjoying your life, your surroundings, your environment to the fullest. Like as usual guys, perfect. So we have been discussing some of the many kind of questions which have already been asked in CWA Final examination for previous attempts, and I'm sure that you guys must be enjoying all these stuff which have been we guys are providing to you. So are you guys thorough with the concept which I have already made you understand in my theoretical concept series? Now we are going ahead with the examination questions. So as promised, the questions are still not over. So there are many more for you guys. All you need to do is just enjoy and understand the concepts. That's all we need to provide you. Perfect guys. Fasten up your seatbelts. We're about to take off with the first question of this presentation. And that will be: cyber company is considering two mutually exclusive projects. Investment outlay of both the projects is gonna be 5 lakh rupees and each is expected to have a life of 5 years. Under three possible situations, their annual cash flows and probabilities are as under. So our initial investment is going to be the same for all the three projects, which is 5 lakh rupees, and their expected life is 5 years. There are three different situations. We need to categorize it in each of the possible manner. Number one, good situation. Number two, normal. And then comes worse. The probability of happening of the good situation is 0.3. Normal one, 0.4, and worse being 0.3. Project A is going to provide you the best kind of cash flow in the good situation, which is 6 lakh rupees. If I'll talk about normal situation, is going to provide you 4 lakh rupees as the cash flows. And in the worst case scenarios, project A is going to provide you an annual cash flow of 2 lakh rupees. If I'll talk in comparison with the project B is going to provide you the cash flows 5 lakh, 4 lakh and 3 lakh in their respective good, normal and worst situation. The cost of capital which has been provided to us is 7%. All we need to do is we need to tell the examiner that which project should be accepted. Are you guys clear with this? Perfect. So before moving on to the conclusion and solution, let's understand this question here itself and think about it. Let's ponder, because I need to make you clear with the kind of concept learning first of all. Okay. And this is the best time to ensure that, okay, without looking into the solution, all you need to do is just keep that kind of mindset along with you while you are watching this video, and you'll get to know how you'll be able to solve out the question once you'll get the same. So guys, we have been already told these are the three situations, okay, and we need to categorize which project should be accepted, keeping in mind project A and project B. Now since the kind of maximum probability is for the happening of the normal situation, I am pretty much sure that the kind of cash flow, the probable cash flow that you'll receive in that question is gonna be 4 lakh rupees. Why? Because the maximum possibilities is of normal situation, which is 40%. Okay. Now what we need to do is we just need to first of all do what? Remember guys, there is one technique which I always say, and which is NPV. Okay, we need to first evaluate whether we should go ahead with the project or not. Only and only we'll get the same once we'll consider the fact that whatever kind of money that you are willing to invest in the project, are you able to recover that amount back in your pocket or not? So net present value is that one technique which is gonna ensure that you get the clear idea whether you should go ahead with the project or not. So after calculating the NPV, okay, there might be a situation wherein we get the same kind of possible results. Okay, then what we should do, remember there are a few other techniques as well, which is relating to the variance part. Think about the risk. If I'm talking about a question, okay, and I'm telling you, dude, I am having 100 rupees in both my hands. Okay, you can take up any of the thing. Okay, you'll be okay, I'll be indifferent because the kind of money that you're providing me is gonna be the same in any of the cases. It's rupees 100 only. Okay, but I'll say, but there is a catch. Okay, you need to take some risk in your life in order to take up this 100 rupees from my hand. And you'll be okay, we can take it up, but how about the risks? Okay, what kind of different risk are we required to take? So obviously the kind of thing wherein I'll be providing you rupees 100, you'll be obviously going for the kind of lesser risk. Okay, why? Because my reward is same. So I will minimize my chances of taking up the higher risk. So absolutely go ahead with the same. Similar kind of scenario is going to happen in this question as well. I'm going to check the variance, okay, the standard deviation. So whichever project is going to provide me the lower standard deviation, I'll go ahead with that project. If in case my cash flow that I'll be like taking up, okay, my rewards are same, then I'll choose the lesser risky option in that particular case. And this is the same thing which is going to happen in this question as well. So are we guys clear with that? Let's move ahead and proceed towards the solution now. So it says project A, what is the expected net cash flow? 0.30 was the 0.3 basically was the probability of having a good situation wherein we'll be getting 6 lakh rupees. If I'll talk about the normal kind of situation, that was 40% chances, okay, and this is going to provide you the cash flow of rupees 4 lakh. Again, there is a worst case scenario which is 30% probability is there to likely to happen. That will provide you a cash flow of 2 lakh rupees. So overall, if I'll get the probability distribution set, I'll get the expected net cash flow of rupees 4 lakh over here itself. Now, this is about the project A. Coming to the variance of project A, okay, this will be simple. All we need to do is just focus on the risk part. So what is the concept of variance? Basically, that's all about the riskiness, okay. So I'll just take out the variance in that particular case in order to judge whether this particular investment is more riskier than project B or not. So it has to be probability distribution for good scenario, that is 0.3 multiplied by 6 lakh, that is the best kind of cash flow that I'll be taking up, 6 lakh. Out of the same, I'll subtract basically the expected net cash flow that I'll be basically going ahead with a better option, and that will be how much? Rupees 2 lakh is my good aspect in that particular case. I'll multiply it. I'll basically multiply it with 2 in that particular case. So raised to the power 2 plus then comes the normal situation, which is 40%. Okay, 0.4 into 4 lakh minus 4 lakh, because again that is the expected cash flow in that particular case, raised to the power 2 plus the worst case scenario, now that is 0.3, and I'll multiply the same with 2 lakh minus 4 lakh, because that was my expected net cash flow in that particular case, raised to the power 2. I'll get the standard deviation in as 24 billion rupees. Okay, in that particular case, I'll just simply under root that. I'll get the standard deviation in as 1,54,919. Okay, that is my standard deviation, because I'll say in order to achieve a cash flow of let's say 4 lakh rupees, I'll be taking up the risk of 1,54,919. Okay, now coming to the second aspect, which is my equated NPV. That comes to with this particular stuff, which is 4 lakh rupees is the amount which I'll be able to take up or earn basically every year. But will my present value, which is today, be gonna be the same after 10 years down the line? Absolutely not. The figures are gonna change. So I need to get the NPV done in that particular case. So my present value index factor, interest rate factor for the first year is gonna be 1. For the second year, it's gonna be 0.935. For the third year, it's gonna be 0.873. Then comes the fourth year, okay, that is 816. Then comes the fifth year, which will be 0.763. Okay, and finally basically it's gonna be the last one. Okay, and the fifth one is gonna be the 0.713%. Okay, and I'll multiply the same with 4 lakh rupees in order to get what amount NPV, if I'll talk about what amount of cash flow will I be able to recover from this project, and it's gonna be 16,40,000 rupees. Okay, now remember my initial outlay was 5 lakh rupees. So if in order to calculate the NPV, the net present value, I'll simply subtract 5 lakh out of the 16,40,000 rupees. I'll get an NPV of 11,40,000 rupees. This is all about if in case you're taking into consideration only project A. But this case is absolutely different. Now we need to consider project B in order to evaluate which one is a better one. So project B is gonna be like having the same kind of expected net cash flow as compared to project A. So the same kind of figures is gonna be like you'll be able to get as I told you while studying the question itself. So 0.3 is my good scenario. Amount of cash flow is 5 lakh rupees in the good scenarios plus 0.4 in the normal scenarios. I'll be multiplying the same with the normal cash flow that I'll be like receiving, that is 4 lakh rupees. And finally, I'll be adding to it the worst case scenario that may happen, which is 0.3 probability percentage in that particular case. I'll multiply the same with 3 lakh rupees, which is the worst case net cash flow. Okay, I'll get the expected net cash flow in as 4 lakh rupees in this particular case. Again, repeating the same kind of exercise, I'll take up the variance and check what amount of risk do I need to bear in order to get this 4 lakh rupees as my reward. So it's going to be the same kind of procedure. 0.3 is my good scenario probability. I'll be multiplying the same with 5 lakh rupees minus 4 lakh, which is my expected, to the power 2 plus 0.4 multiplied by 4 lakh minus 4 lakh, again that is the expected one, to the power 2 plus 0.3 into 3 lakh minus 4 lakh to the power 2. I'll get a standard deviation in as 77,460 rupees lump sum. So we can simply understand this thing, guys. In my last project A, the standard deviation was more than 1,50,000. Here it's around 77,000. Okay, and if I'll talk about something in relation to the NPV now, so it's gonna be the same kind of process. Again, 4 lakh is my expected net cash flows. I'll have to multiply it with the present value interest rate factor for the next 5 years, and I'll get the figure of 16,40,000 here itself. In order to calculate the NPV, I'll subtract my initial investment, which was 5 lakh rupees. So what amount will I be taking up as a reward for my entire project life? That is again the same, which is 11,40,000. So what to do? There is a tie now. Which way to go? Simple. The one which is gonna provide you the lower risk, the lower standard deviation, you'll have to opt that only. Why? Because that is a profitable option for you. So recommendation, since the NPV of both the project is same, decision is required to be made based on standard deviation, that is your risk. So we need to choose project B. Why? Because it is going to provide you the lower standard deviation. So lower risk but better rewards. So this question was asked in one of the CA final examination, and I hope I was able to give you the entire clarity how we should proceed while you're getting these kind of questions in your examination. Shall we proceed further, guys, with the next question? Let's go ahead. So guys, this question was asked in CA final examination for May 2013. So it says, Skylark Airways is planning to acquire a light commercial aircraft for flying class clients at an investment of 50 lakh rupees. The expected cash flow after tax for the next 3 years is gonna be this: year 1, year 2, year 3. The cash flows after tax for year 1, it's gonna be 14 lakh, 18 lakh, 25 lakh, 40 lakh. Probability has been provided to us, that is 0.10, 0.20, 0.40 and 0.3. Again, on the same basis, year 2 and year 3, cash flow after taxes like 15 lakh, 20 lakh, 32 lakh, 45 lakh. Probability is gonna be 0.1, 0.3, 0.4 and 0.2 for the same. For the year 3, it's gonna be the same kind of exercise, that is 18 lakh, 25 lakh, 35 lakh, 48 lakhs. And the probability distribution in that particular case is gonna be 0.2, 0.5, 0.2 and 0.1. So the company wishes to take into the consideration all the possible risk factors relating to an airline operation. The company wants to know what? Number 1, what is the expected NPV of this venture, assuming that independent probability to a distribution with 6% risk-free interest, and what is the possible deviation in this expected value? So also we need to take care of the possible deviation in this expected value. So let's go ahead and do this question accordingly so that I can tell you how you should present your answer in the examination. So let's go ahead. with that. And this is the kind of presentation which you should, you guys should strive for while you're doing your examination somehow. It's one of the good kind of a presentation. If I'll talk about the tabular ones, okay. Number one, it saves time. Number two, it's pretty much presentable, okay. And invigilator, it's more like the good thing about your examination, your answer should be, they shouldn't ask the invigilator's time or the examiner's time much, okay. Ask for, nope, okay. Try to provide them your solutions in such a manner that they just need to write the marks, that's it, okay. They don't need to spend more time in your answers, okay. Each and everything should be crisp, to the point, and clear cut, that's it. So number one thing is expected NPV, okay. I need to check whether I should go ahead with the project or not. So the probability of having the cash flow, the best cash flow estimate for year one is 27, okay. Simply all you need to do is just multiply the cash flow after tax that has been provided, that is 14, 18, 25, with their respective probability distribution. So you will get the approximate expected NPV in that particular case, okay, expected cash flows. So for year one, it comes out to be 27. If I'll talk about year two, it comes out to be 29.3, while multiplying with 15 into 0.1, 20 with 0.3, 32 with 0.4, 45 with 0.2. So you'll get 1.5, 6, 12.8, 9, total 29.3. In the year 3, it's gonna be 27.9, okay. Now all you need to do is just simply multiply that with the present value factor at 6%, and which comes out to be 0.943 for year 1, 0.890 for year 2, and 0.840 for year 3. The total PV comes out to be, in that particular case, present value of the cash inflows, as 74.974. Out of the same, you'll subtract your initial cash outlay, which was 50 lakh rupees, okay. So you are still left with the positive NPV of 24,97,400 rupees in that particular case. So should we go ahead with the project? Absolutely, we can, as far as the NPV benchmark is concerned. This was one. Second, it has been provided to us in the question that we need to provide them the possible deviations as well. By possible deviation, we simply mean by the risk factors, okay. So the year one will be like pretty much simple. All we need to do is just get the mean in that particular case first of all. So the expected cash flow for the year one was 27. All I need to do is just subtract it from the normal probable distributions, and which was 14, 18, 25 and 40. It comes out to be minus 13, minus 9, minus 2 and 13. Multiply them with their respective similar figures to the power 2. It comes out to be 169, 81, 4 and 169, with the probability distribution which is 0.1, 0.2, 0.4 and 0.3. So the figure comes out to be 85.4 in that particular case, and all you need to do is just under root that. So you'll get the standard deviation of that particular year, which comes out to be 9.241. That is for year 1. Similar thing needs to be repeated for year 2. The standard deviation in that particular case comes out to be 98.61 under root, which comes out to be 9.930 for year 2. And lastly, for year 3, again you need to do the same exercise, which turns out to be finally in as 74.29 under root comes out to be 8.619. So the standard deviation of the expected value in that particular case for all these years with the total comes out to be as 14.3695. And how did I reach to that particular figure? It's pretty much simple, okay. And it says 85.4, which was the first year's cash flow minus mean to the power 2 into the probability of that first year, which was 85.4. Then comes the second year, which was 98.61, and then comes the third year, 74.29. And all we need to do is just divide them with their respective year's figures, which is 1.06, which is the risk-free interest rate, and to the power 2, to the power 4, and to the power 6. Keeping in mind we are finding out standard deviation, okay, which turns out to be the doubling effect, okay, and it comes out to be in as 14.3695. So are you guys clear with this particular question? And that's how you need to solve in that particular case of possible deviations as well. So let's go ahead with the next question, and it says this question is all about the sensitivity, okay, and sensitivity being a very good concept, I incorporated this question not from the CA final examination but from the ICWA. Nowadays it says ICMA. So it says, from the following project details, calculate the sensitivity of project cost, annual cash flows, cost of capital, and we need to find out which variable is the most sensitive. Remember guys, I told you about this concept that what if I change my figures, what if there is a deviation, okay, and in that particular case which factor is likely to change my cash flows, my net present value the maximum, okay. It can be with a simple example that it says the lower the percentage, okay, the higher is the chances of its being most sensitive, okay. So it simply says in this particular question that we have 4 of the things, okay, that we need to consider. Number 1 is the project cost, which is 12,000 rupees. Annual cash flow has been provided to us as 4,500 per year. Life of the project is 4 years, and cost of capital has been provided to us as 14%. We need to check each and every sensitivity, okay, the sensitivity of each and everything over here, be it project cost, be it annual cash flows, be it your life, be it your cost of capital, each and everything, okay. So how we should go ahead with this particular question? Let's do it and understand. First of all we need to find out the net present value, okay, like as usual. So I am getting an annual cash flow of 4,500 rupees, okay. I will multiply it with the present value factor of the next 4 years, okay, and this figure has been provided to me in as 2.9137. I'll multiply it with 4,500. I'll get a figure of 13,112. Now the project cost which has been provided to me is 12,000 rupees, and we all are aware of it. Cool. So should I go ahead with the project? Absolutely. Why? Because it is providing me the positive NPV of 1,112 rupees, okay. Now this is about taking up the project. Now let's understand how sensitive is the project cost, okay. If in case I change my figure from 12,000 to 13,112, okay, will I be able to get some money? Absolutely not. My annual cash flow would be 13,112 rupees and my costing will be 13,112 rupees. In that particular case, my NPV is gonna be 0, okay. So how sensitive is that project? Simple. All I need to do is I'll divide 1,112, that is my NPV, current NPV, okay, with 12,000, that is my project cost, and I'll multiply it with 100, okay. I'll get the percentage, how sensitive it is, and it comes out to be 9.27%. If in case I'll be changing my project cost by 9.27%, then my net present value in that particular case is gonna be 0. This is how sensitivity analysis is being done. This is about the project cost, okay. Sensitivity of project cost is 9.27%. Next comes, how about the sensitivity of the annual cash flows? So my annual cash flow in this particular case is 13,112 rupees. What if I decrease that annual cash flow by 1,112 rupees? It will come exactly on the same case of project cost. Will I be able to earn something out of it? My NPV, that will be 0. So how sensitive is my annual cash flows? Again, that is very simple. 1,112 rupees is my difference in that particular case. I'll divide the same with the annual cash flow amount, which is 13,112 rupees, and multiply it with 100. I'll get a figure of 8.48%. And it simply means if in case I'll be changing my annual cash flow by just 8.48%, then my NPV is gonna be 0. So this is about the sensitivity of annual cash inflow. Next comes in the last one, which is the sensitivity of the cost of capital. What if I change my cost of capital? Then simple. At what cost of capital my NPV is gonna be 0? My project cost is 12,000 rupees. That is my cash outflow. I'll be getting 4,500 rupees each year. Now to multiply it, okay, I'll get a present value index of 2.667. Now what you need to do is, you'll be getting in the question itself, the present value interest rate factor annuity table will be like provided to you, or you can ask for that in your examination time. Okay, the person who is taking care of the premise, okay, they'll provide you that table. Okay, out of that table you'll be like easily checking out at what percentage you'll be getting 2.667 as the present value interest rate factor for 4 years, and you'll get to know that it comes out to be, once you'll check the table, we'll get that X being the 18%. Now we are aware of this thing, that in this particular question it was told to us that the cost of capital is 14%. What if I'll be changing it to 18%? So it is being changed to 18%. I need to find out the sensitivity of it, and that will be 18% minus 14%. And what is my current percentage? That is 14. So I'll divide it with 14%. I'll get the sensitivity percentage as 28.57. If in case I'll be changing my cost of capital with 28.57%, then only my NPV is going to be 0. Now, out of these three, which is that one factor which is most sensitive? Okay, that I should say, if it's being like changed for even a one single percentage, okay, that's gonna change the fate of my net present value, and that being none other than annual cash flow. It is just that one thing which is going to be like changing the entire NPV by merely with a change of 8.48%. So the cash inflow is most sensitive in this particular case, since 8.5% change approximately in that cash inflow will make the NPV of this project 0. So that's how it's being done, and this is all about the sensitivity analysis. I hope I was able to provide you the kind of questions which are being asked usually in CWA Final examination. So all you need to do is just try and revise at your end whatever things I'm teaching you up. Okay, my efforts, Edupedia's efforts will go in vain. They'll be like futile if in case you guys won't work accordingly. So start working ahead with a lot more efforts. Okay, put in all your heart and soul into the kind of things you are actually studying day in day out. Okay, and that's how miracles basically happen. We need to put in that heart behind that work, and that's how things change. So all the best for all these things that you'll be like embarking to, and I'm sure that one day you guys are gonna make us all proud, that's for sure. With this, I'll say thank you on behalf of the Edupedia world. Keep interacting via questions, queries in YouTube comment boxes. I would love to answer each one of your queries and grievances. If in case you have liked our video, if in case you find it informative, do give us a thumbs up. That will help us in motivating ourselves all the time. Stay connected. That will help us in. I'll see you in the next presentation. A lot more exciting questions. Till then, take care, sayonara, God bless you all. Bye.